In fact, I had decided not to do a holiday prediction, to just let people breathe. But then I just thought, okay, maybe if you're not meant, to hear this, and you're not supposed to be, getting some prediction news, you're not going to see maybe a notification if you have them, or you're not going to see this online, then which obviously talks to what is meant to happen will happen. So I should just, in any case, make these predictions. And we will be looking at the days 22nd and until the 30th. But obviously for the 22nd, I am speaking to the far west, because some would still be on their 22nd, I think, or maybe now it's like midnight in any case in Canada. Sorry, but anyways, for comparison, or just to get back to see what's happened. But today in France, it is the 23rd of December, and it's actually 9 a.m. in the morning. So it's a very beautiful morning, and yeah, we have some conversation to do. So obviously the change of mind is also due to the sudden changes that would have happened for a lot of people when it comes to the 22nd, because the 22nd was a day in which a lot of people would have experienced sudden changes, whether mentally, in terms of your decisions, or even in terms of your routine, depending on the houses of course. So in any case, the time now, as I said, is 9 a.m. and I'm feeling very empowered. Oh, by the way, I have discovered so many things in terms of our relationship with the skies, and it is incredible. And I just wish, I could have like a personal conversation, whereby you have those intimate groups whereby it's just like 4 or 5 people and you just talk the deepest of the deepest things. I wish I could be in that room with you guys, and not just online. And so my heart is sending those wishes up to you. So remember to read these readings, use your ascendant, and of course also use your sun sign, your sidereal sun sign. It works perfectly well. You don't have to use the moon sign. So now I am convinced, I have tested it, I am 100% sure you don't have to use your moon sign to follow these predictions, like my predictions. It's not necessary. But then your sun sign and your ascendant, they're the ones who are going to show you what will be happening. Book today for all the analysis that you want in terms of predictions, synastry, marriage, relationship on my website. And also do by the way, I'm just sorry for the people who were demanding about the price when it comes to the course. I know I've responded to some people, and I wanted to take the price down, but I can't because it removes the current participants, so that obviously would create an unfair thing for them. So I'm sorry about that. I'll try to see in the coming weeks how I can maneuver around the situation. But in any case, this is Synastry Expert. My name is Meet. So I'm continuing the recording midday because Christmas time, kids, it's just a good family time for us. So anyway, I'm taking my time with this recording, so it means it's possible I might post it tomorrow, which will be the 23rd already, but There will be more days, obviously, that will still be relevant for the prediction. So let's get right into the prediction itself. So basically for Aries, as long as that Mars is in that 9th house of yours, many things will continue to roll quite easily. But obviously, everything depends on each person's chart, like in terms of the gravity, in terms of the scale, and how much it is felt, right? We must remember that at all times. Now, as of the 22nd until the 24th, I'm still going to mention the 24th, the 22nd date, just for reference sake. But what I do see for this period, 22nd until the 24th, is some challenges now that could be seen at this time. I see that the mind is thinking about work a lot. So this is stress point that is, going towards profession, going towards your career, and also, for those who are not like in the normal 9 to 5 careers, maybe like, how you seen in the public and how you're acting in the public, how you're presenting in the public. So, those things could be on your mind now. Or they could be just coming up, as a matter of talk, by other people, or even like with the relevant authoritative figures, whereby there's just this, back and forth, or maybe even like the planning towards that point of life. I see some obligations, like things that also need to be done towards this factor, like your employment, career, or some other authoritative figures. And just be careful of not getting into conflict or fights with your parents, and obviously with also the authoritative figures, because as I said, that is highlighted that right now for the period between the 22nd until the 24th. Now, there could be a possibility of being overworked. Maybe some people, it's holiday time, but some people could still be at work, having to work, and, being called to take charge of, some responsibilities, working overtime, not really like feeling like you're relaxed. It's like you called to render to these responsibilities, even though it's like holidays, for a lot of people. Which, by the way, could also be in terms of family life, whereby, other people are just having a good time. They are eating and drinking food, and you are the one who's busy doing everything, cooking, collecting, people, organizing. You don't get to sit down. So I see a lot of overwork, obligations, and all of these things. Now, when it comes to this factor of your career, I do see also some possibilities of changes, maybe change of plan, or it could also be just like change of intention, whereby you would have wanted to render a certain project and you change your mind. So that is also possible for some Aries ascendants or sun signs. Remember, I'm also looking at the sun sign. Sorry. Now, when it comes to particularly the 23rd, what I do see here is a bit of pressure, whereby it's like you are expected to act perfectly. So there's this pressure, and it could also be coming from you, whereby you want your performance to be at a better point, and I see you want to show your skills, or your skills could be shown, like people could just put that on a pedestal or on stage or something relating to what you can do, right? So I also do see that it would be nice or preferable not to be inflexible right now, like rigid. So yeah, because that would actually cause some strain as well, particularly for those who want to hold too much control. So that's what's clear here. And what I also do see is if the control is placed, it must be placed in a way that you're safeguarding something, either your security, you're securing your job, securing your space, you know, not only just to control for the sake of controlling, because whatever you're controlling, then it might be destroyed or shattered. Excuse me. So just imagine, you know, you holding a bird, right? If you squeeze the bird too much, you could end up, you know, you're harming it. But then if you're just controlling it within your hand, then you are able to safeguard it, and also to make sure that you have it to use it later. So this is what's being called for you here to do. And yeah, you're gonna be resilient. That is very shown here. And there's it's like this, yeah, you know, going back to what I just said, you know, that possibility of having to answer to an authoritative figure or a parent. You're like, whereby you have to defend an argument here. So that is also on the card for the 23rd. Now, also for the 23rd, I do see that you are balancing, definitely balancing your domestic life as well as your public life here. Definitely that is shown, particularly whereby this authoritative figure is like on your head, you know, and there could be a bit of judgmental as well going towards you at this time, or you sending towards this parent or this authoritative figure here. So it's like we need a balance between, you know, you and this person, or the family and, you know, your public life. So definitely a balance must be rendered here. And yeah, you will be in the lead, like in the lead, in terms of you will be able to spearhead, you know, whatever you have to. At the time, I do see that your alertness keeps continuing to be opened, your quick responses keep showing, and sometimes you could have a rash speech, like, so just be careful of your speech and what you say. What I also do see coming up here is that, and now for the 20, so it would have been like the 20 from the 22nd, but until the 24th specifically here, is okay, some of you could be traveling right now, I see that, and traveling by air, by plane. Of course, it's impossible that all Aries people in the world, they are flying, you know, it's just impossible. But some would be really like having to fly at this time. And sorry, I also do see that there is you could be receiving a message today, a very important message, which could be reassuring you of something relating to your career, profession. As I said, that is the stress point. So some of you could receive some news relating to your job, or job related, or career right now. So this is very, very clear. So do be on the lookout. Yeah, and I also do see just be careful not to be too prideful, particularly for those who have sudden success, you know, because because with the moon transiting your 10th house at this point, I also do see that in the long run or whatever, it could be reversed, you know. So you could be too happy and then you find out that they're reversing that, because moon is fluctuating quite a lot. And in terms of the Capricorn sign for the moon, you know, things are not clear as possible here, particularly if maybe there is an emotional response, which, you know, it doesn't work, of course, very well with the Capricorn sign. So this is what I see. Now going to the 23rd until the 24th. So this period, what I do see is that between the 23rd and the 24th, there is something that is restricting you now. So there is either you being restricted, or you have to set the restrictions for somebody else. Like, you know, draw a line, or, you know, don't allow yourself to cross the border or cross the line or the limits, or, you know, go over the limits. I do see that, and I do see that you definitely need to take care during these days between the 23rd and the 24th, particularly for those who are prone, because, you know, when we talk about our Aries, we're talking about a Mars ruled sign. So for those who are prone to Martian energies, like deeply, obviously depending on each chart here, be careful here, because what I do see is a possibility of maybe you what's the right word? Destroy the relationships that you could be having with your father, for an example, or maybe, you know, another very important authority figure, even your government, maybe because of your actions at this time. You are placed into a judgment, or you have to be, you know, called upon. You know, a certain control must be set in terms of behavior. So I do see this for these days. So just be careful, for those type of things. But you know, Martian stuff. And what I do see between the 23rd until 25th, now adding the 25th period day, is at this point there's also some higher law, because I'm looking at your 9th house. There's also some laws that may be questioned, or that you questioning. If it's not like a law, it could be maybe your belief systems, your religion, something relating to that, and that gets to be your focal point at this time. So I do see that. So yeah, particularly for those who are located in sorry, I'm looking at America. So the northern region of America, the Canada, UK, Russia, the upper parts, China, I would say. So for all of these guys, and maybe North Africa. So all of the Aries people who are on this point of the equator, all of you guys, this is highly indicative of you. So do take care. Yeah, but yeah, because of this morality, something happening with morality, whereby you are maybe stern in your beliefs that, or you're very dogmatic, you know, and then you get challenged because of that, or because of that, you know, an authoritative figure gets offended, I don't know, you know, something like that. But I do see that happening. I do see quite a lot of pressure also from the in-laws at this time, from the 24th until the 27th, if I have to add as well, the 26th and the 27th. So in this part regarding to your in-laws, so I do see some, you know, issues coming there, and it's not always you know, scaffolds, you know, when we talk about in-laws. It could also just be about obligations, whereby you have to do something for them. I mean, it says holiday time, or you know, they need something from you, vice versa. But I do see that point coming up for the Aries ascendant and the sun sign. So yeah, but you do, if your mom-in-law comes and they ask you to take care of them at this time, that is highly recommendable for you to do, to bond, you know, with them. Or sometimes you could feel like there is a change in your relationship somehow with your mother-in-law or parental in-laws, like just in-laws in general. And also at this time you could be thinking about your resources with your spouse, like shared resources, shared life, and all of that. So that comes up between the 24th and the 23rd. Right, so yeah, for, I think that is it. I think our accepted, I have to move, okay, let's move on, because the moon then will move on into your Aquarius at this time. And when it moves to your Aquarius sign, which is your 11th house, here it's going to be with the Rahu. So that is going to be within that period of the 24th and the 27th, and that I just mentioned. Now also here it is important that, you know, you definitely assess your own resources here, how much you're getting. And some people will be doing that naturally, whereby they're hoping for, you know, their bonuses and all of those things, how much they are getting for you know, from their risks that they've been taken, how much are they valued, how much are their visions and hopes and dreams getting achieved. You know, that does come up at this time. I see that. And now when it comes to Moon and Rahu, there's a lot of exaggerated emotions, so do, you know, be careful with not putting too much pressure onto your friends, or receiving too much pressure, emotional pressure from your friends as well at this time. So that is, or even big organizations, obviously. So then when the moon moves over into it was to the 12th house from the 27th until the 30th at this time. So what I do see taking place oh, by the way, just another point before I move on, because what I do see, sorry, going back to that 24th and the 25th, because I didn't talk about your love life here. I do see that, you know, there's something that you could be experiencing in terms of disappointment, in terms of Martian activities also pertaining to spouse. I don't want to use the big words, but in terms of Martian activities, but something very sudden. So just to take care of spouse between the 24th and the 25th, you know. Yeah. So yeah, just some protection is required for spouse. The spouse could be suffering something, or you know, going through something. Need to make sure everything is as good as it's supposed to be. And now we can definitely move on to the 12th house. So when moon moves into here between the 27th and the 30th, I do see now that at this time, you know, moon being in your 12th house is very calming for you. It's reassuring for you, not for everyone, but for Aries it becomes very good, and for your subconscious. However, I just need to make sure, you know, you use it by being creative towards creativity. And for those who design stuff, you know, they can design today. For those who you know, sew clothes, they can do that today, you know, in these days between the 27th and the 30th, because this is very good for Aries people. I also do see that because, you know, there's this Saturn in your 12th house, you know, that obviously keeps being something that is calling upon your subconscious actions to be responsible, to take things slowly, which is against your nature. But at the same time, to call upon you to be accountable, because that's what Saturn is about. It calls for accountability. So which it sometimes could be very hurtful, particularly because there's a Chiron there, you know. And there's with the moon coming in here, there could be a lot of things that are unclear because of the Neptune, whereby you would have had plans, but you're not sure, should I not, you know, that comes up, which now results into a lot of calculation that is done with a bit of aggression, because, you know, of the frustration that is being caused by the conjunction of moon and Mars. I mean, of moon and Saturn with the influence of Neptune and Chiron. So there's a lot of aggression, like agitation, because it's like back and forth of between wanting to do action and withholding, do action, withholding. So many of the Aries people at this time, they could be forced to kind of like be in a defense attack mode, attack mode, right? So that's what I see. Particularly the 30th becomes very confrontational at this time. So yeah, be careful, you know, when you choose those confrontations that could come up on the 30th. And I do see that some people could feel like they should attack first before being attacked at this time. So yeah, just be careful. You're very empowered. Your hand is empowered. So if you were to get into a physical altercation, you would probably get into a physical win, but in a judgmental loss, you know. Consequences would be losing, whereas in the instant it would give you a definite win. So just be careful about that. So I do see that also because of that moon in the 12th house, many of you, particularly those of you who are in the occults, which is all of you, because all of you are into astrology, therefore you are automatically into the occults. And be careful not to misuse your occultistic knowledge that you do know. For those of you who practice witchcraft at this time, you ought definitely obviously to be in tuned because of the moon being in the 12th house. And therefore, you know, some of you may want to avenge because of the certain they want to avenge and inflict pain and inflict wounds on other people. Chiron is here is wounding, so just be careful this year, because I do see that danger that comes because of what you know or because of what you can do. Because also remember, the Aries people, they are physically able to beat down some people. So yeah, just be careful of not to take yourself there, because I do see that in the long run it could be very dire, like it could be like a regrettable decision. But in terms of the positivity, particularly the 27th, my goodness, this day is a huge day to make fortune, to make money. But actually this point is for everyone. The 27th is just a beautiful day to do a whole lot of stuff, achieve, invest, and obviously and always look at your own chart and see the limits that you can do these things. So I do see that. I do see a bit of laziness as well coming up just before the 27th for you. So because of that moon, again, a good time to be spiritually devoted, towards your religion, not your religion, your spirituality. Here I do see that there could be a lot of compassion as well, that does come up between the 27th and the 28th, just for those 2 days. And for some Aries, they could be sacrificing too much of themselves at this time. And so this is quite clear here. So with that said, for Aries, what else am I missing? Check. They are just like mood swings, obviously being in the 12th house, so just be careful of that. But in any case, even if you're feeling those mood swings because of that certain, you could be back and forth, like I just said, going back and forth, wanting to be emotional, stopping yourself, or something stopping you, from going all the way in terms of being emotional. So and of course some journeys for some Aries, definitely from some Aries people. And this could obviously be also going well with the time of Christmas. Christmas is done, people are going back to their houses at this time, so some traveling here. Definitely with the moon in the 12th house here, psychic activations are happening for some Aries people here. But with that as well, remember that moon's a certain Chiron, Neptune. I urge all of you not to harm yourselves, because some people could want to harm themselves. So this is if you feel like you're feeling these depressive thoughts or challenging thoughts at this time, call the right people or talk to your family and tell them how you feel. And also obviously you can pray as well to calm yourself down. Meditation definitely here can be used and explored. And so be careful of water, water signs, Pisces moon, be careful of water as well, particularly for those who are in the festive mood, particularly in the tropical. It's hot, people are going to the sea, just to take care. So thank you, Aries. When it comes to the Taurus, so you guys are like torn between going to your friends, going to work, traveling back and forth during this holiday time. I do see that your friends become your point of focus quite hugely, as well as your employment or your job or your career, whereby you have to show face of who you are to the public. So this part is highly indicated. Sorry, now I do see that between the 22nd and the 24th, remember today is the 23rd, but I'm placing in the 22nd for reference sake. And remember, whatever I say here is applicable to your chart, and the scale, it depends on your aspects in your chart itself. So some people could feel it hugely, some people could feel it in a minor way. Nonetheless, I do see that you are also sacrificing, or you feel a bit stressed between this up and down you have to do between seeing your friends, seeing going to work. For some of you, even the part of work or your boss's requirements could be very irritating at this time. You could sense like, it's too much. Like, I just want to be on holiday, I want to be with my friends and, just have a good time. So I do see a lot of pressure and demand, but what is also visible at this time is that most of the travel that you do could be beneficial to you. So it could even feel like, it's a stressful thing, but I do see that most of it would be actually very beneficial at this time. And some of you could be surrounded by religious things or religious people, culture, foreign people. Maybe obviously it's holiday season, you come across some foreign people and all of that at this time, and have some contact with them, which could be beneficial, even though it could seem like it's a bit of an annoyance or an inconvenience at this time. So I do see that there could be a bit of reliance on an authoritative figure or somebody who knows more than you at this time, so which could also make you feel that you are lacking freedom or free will. You can't express yourself freely, and because of this, some possible explosive reactions. Be careful about that. I do see also that the point, I do see that unionship life, married life, continues to be something that you need to take care of at this time. In-laws as well, so that continues. I do see that between the 24th and the 22nd and the 22nd, yes, okay, at this time, okay, with lots of power play. Definitely you're not happy with your boss, they're not happy with you because of the moon being conjunct with Pluto there, so that is highly visible. And some words could be said because you're feeling too confident, or they seeming too confident, so that is on the cards. But overall, going to the 24th and the 27th now, this is when moon moves into your 10th house of career, profession, all of that, so with Rahu. So some of you could have some opportunities actually at this time to go travel abroad or to travel to another state another province, another region. So those opportunities could come up at this time. However, they could also be very restrictive, whereby now you have to let go of an obligation, or you have to commit yourself to a new obligation that is feeling a bit heavy, is feeling a bit challenging for you at this time. So there's that risk that must be weighed here. But in any case, being moon being here could give you not just like any position, but like a position that you would have really wanted for a long time, or a position that is lucrative in terms of both resources as well as status at this time. So I do see that. I also do see that actually throughout this whole period, there is some success, but success that is received after some complications have been endured, right? Discipline is needed here. Definitely inner control is needed here. I do see with that moon there, I see it kind of like paving a way of success. But as I said, some risks must be taken before, some hurdles must be skipped before or endured in order for you to gain that honor that is guaranteed by that placement of that moon in that Aquarius sign there. So that is like starting to indicate for you that there's a victory ahead of time. So do be bold, in terms of going forward with these things. I do see also that when it comes to the 27th and until the 30th, at this time the moon would have moved to into your 11th house. Continuation of possibilities of profits, money coming in here, some recognition coming in here. So and it could also be as I've said, indicated with the moon being in your prior house. So the period between the 27th and the 30th is the same, promising good things, but work must be done first. Some things must be endured first, and some repression as well, whereby you have to repress your emotions here, because when it comes to Pisces, it makes the moon float in a lot of emotions. Some are very happy, some are very down. So because of the two fish, you could feel like you're going up, you're happy with a certain achievement, and then you get disappointed with how much maybe it is. Maybe you were aiming for a promotion to be a CEO, and instead of being CEO, they give you a vice CEO, something like that. So that is possible. So I do see that for Taurus ascendants. Now, what is also critical for the 27th, until the 28th here, is the fact that that moon is going up with Chiron, Neptune, and Saturn. Neptune, Saturn, Chiron, all three are not necessarily favorable for the moon, because the moon is soft and gullible. Now with Saturn here, there's definitely some structure that is going to be required from you these days. So it's either going to be your spouse, or it's going to be some authoritative figure at your workplace. But whoever has an upper hand on you, they're gonna be wanting you to think straight. Like if you are envisioning, you're having projects, these projects must have tangible results that are promised. So that's what's going to be required at this time. But as I said, fluctuating achievements could be seeming big, and then you get just below it because of both the Chiron and the moon at this time. So what else can I say? I do see that with some, not all, with some Taurus, there could be some demotion that could be experienced here, whereby you would have already had the big job and you get demoted, or some sort of sacrifice or sudden change towards your position, as well as even obviously friends here, because this is a friendship house as well. So this becomes very highlighted for you here. But if right now they ask you to take on a position, do take that. But as I said, some sudden changes are possible as well. So, have an open mind. But other than that, a very victorious season for the Taurus ascendant for sure. Ascendant is obviously sun signs, because Venus continues to be in the 8th house for you. Therefore, you have to be careful, obviously, when you're driving, these things, accidents, cruelty, all of these type of things, and sharp objects, by the way, because it's also with Mars. So for you, until your ascendant Lord gets out of that 8th house situation, it's just important to take care, as well as for the partner, because not only Venus is you, but Venus is also a partner for you. So this becomes absolutely necessary. And because of that Venus being in 8th house, I do see that there's a possibility you could be expanding yourself quite a lot, through compassion, helping other people, or trying to heal other people whilst you are suffering, whilst you are in a dire position, right? So I do see some sort of emotional injury as well. So, because when we talk about the 8th house, this is a deeper house. But because it's a Sagittarius, everything is being purified. It's a purification time. And definitely when it comes to the 8th house themes, anything when it comes to travel, be careful. When traveling, definitely be careful, particularly around cities, or whereby there's going to be groups, like where there's a lot of groups involved, those particular places for you. It becomes important that you just take care of your belongings as well, of the things that you own, if you're going to be in group settings, and give attention, just the physical, just the usual care that needs to be taken. And actually throughout this whole time, this whole period for you, this becomes a repeated like a call to take attention. Sorry, my words just left my head. Anyway, thanks, Aries. So now when it comes to the Geminis, I do see that there's a lot of demand for you to give attention to your marriage, your relationships at this time. Could be business partnerships, as well as your clients if you are in business. So there's a lot of attention that is required out of you. I also do see a possibility of some government bodies. Maybe they would have called you today on the 23rd, and maybe pertaining to some administration, or it could also be your boss asking you some stuff, perhaps. And there could be some short travels that you and your partner do at this time, and definitely you should be feeling, loved. But at the same time, it's like warm love, like a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion that I see here. And at the same time, just be careful of, not putting too much pressure on yourself, whereby the pressure is self-imposed in order to satisfy the other people that are in the 7th house to you. I do see that particularly for the Geminis that are in the southern countries of the world, like of the equator here, I do see that you guys need to make sure you place some balance in your relationships. When you make time for yourself, make sure you also make time for your partner, and vice versa. When you make time for your partner, make sure that you yourself, you can have some nice things or relaxation time, and equal opportunities to be a functional person. So that balance is highly requested out of all Geminis at this time. I do see that between the today and tomorrow, so between the 23rd and the 24th. Okay, so there are challenges here and there that need you to plan for the continuation of the relationship because of the moon that is passing in your 7th house right now. Now, moon here is definitely making the spouse a bit emotional. So they could be talking about maybe their stress, or they could be planning their travels, mostly likely. And some could be talking about their achievements, that are that are given to them at this time. And so it could be a very like a 50-50 situation because of that Mars being here. Otherwise, for you, the Mercury, Venus and Sun, they are supportive. So yeah, this is what I see. Even if there's like some heated arguments, they quickly dissipate because of the other planets that are working for you there. However, you could be very like intellectually analyze too much the emotions of your partner right now, like intellectually distanced from your partner's emotions, whereby you just analyzing what they say, how they feel, instead of trying to feel what they feel, if that makes sense. So there's that as well. And because of the Jupiter that is on an ascendant, there's quite a lot of expectations that are set out from you, because the Jupiter makes you appear as somebody who will be able to give the right directions, and most of the time maybe 99% of the time you will be that person, definitely with the Jupiter on your ascendant. I also do see, but be mindful because right now the Jupiter is still retrograde, so it means that there are high chances of making some mistakes. Even in the counsel that you give, you could be giving or making some errors, so be mindful of that. Obviously analyze, use the Gemini, analyze, re-examine and calculate. This is a good time for a lot of Geminis to calculate and to write things down for you to take out some of the areas that are possible. Now, what I also do see is that on the 23rd today, there could be again that Martian energy that could give some conviction whereby you're judging yourself or somebody's judging you at this time, but it wouldn't be much of a thing unless your chart obviously is agreeing with that. Some of the Geminis could be at this time being introduced to a lot of knowledge, like higher knowledge. When I talk about higher knowledge, it is possible that some of you are graduating literally from universities, whereas some of some of us could be I forgot the word, whereby there's like this door that of information that is opened to you, and which maybe in your life you wouldn't just normally be able to get inside of those type of doors with a lot of information. So some of you could be experiencing those type of things right now, and other Geminis could be having some higher knowledge in terms of occults, like the occultic stuff coming to them at this point, particularly when it comes to from today 23rd until the 25th. I do see this, and it would be affecting mostly the Geminis that are in the northern countries of the equator. So there's a lot of information. Some of you could be indicted, I think that's the word, indicted. You guys will know. English is not my first language at all, not even my second language or my third language or my fourth language. So some of you would be welcomed to societies that are very exclusive, societies that are high in terms of intellectual knowledge, hidden things, hidden knowledge. And I do see that the knowledge that you see now could actually also open up your visions, and this could be in terms of the actual vision board, whereby you can see and plan properly what is ahead of you, and or maybe in terms of the spirituality, since all of you are occultists because you are into astrology. So to me, you are all occultists, right? So I do see that now in your hands, I can see that in your hands they are placing, or you are being placed with a lot of information, a lot of hidden information that is very dangerous. And this information that many of us as Geminis are being given, it is information that is meant to either destroy or to either heal, depending on your chart. So many of the Geminis right now are being tasked, with that skill. It could also be literally like competence, whereby you go into a workshop, or you go into a Zoom meeting whereby they talk about stuff and they give you information. So that is happening, but I do see that but with most of you, it could also be about going literally to a structure, like a building, like a museum, but then in this museum there's a lot of exclusivity, whereby you are being shown things that not a lot of people will ever know in this world. Now yeah, do obviously take care of this information that you're being given, and I do see that the use of it is depending on your chart. Definitely, as I said, some of the Geminis could be able to control it and use it, you know, in a way that they control their surroundings and also control themselves, like have the self-mastery. But then with others, they could use it, you know, towards violence. You know, when you have something other people don't have, or when you know knowledge that other people don't have, you know, some can be very selfish and use it to destroy others and to cause chaos and to cause violence and all of these things, like, right? So do lead this move. It could be definitely a move in terms of physicality, or it can be a move in terms of your mental state, because of the moon joining in the Sagittarius sign right now. So some people could be on the journey whereby you literally have to go to this person who's going to teach you these things, you know, and some of you, it could be, as I said, by telephone or Zoom or stuff like that, right? Or even the old books whereby you're being told to read this and read that, and with some Geminis and with some Geminis it could be obviously by a spiritual way, like an occultic way, whereby you are literally taken, you know, through a vision to go and see the things that you need to know for your occultistic advancement. So that is an experience. Some of Geminis are being given now, and what I do see is, you know, there could be, when it comes to the 27th and the 24th, when the moon moves into 8th house, there could be some pressure there. Just be mindful of that. Some pressure regarding to your mother-in-law. Yes, at this time, power plays, whereby maybe you get into a scuffle with your mother-in-law. I do see that there's a possibility of a huge scuffle, and mostly normally Geminis don't have a good relationships with their mother-in-laws, or it's always mostly like this for many Geminis. And it is, and you know, sometimes I do get some charts that I can tell that you know, it's a bother for some Geminis, but it's literally most of the Geminis. I think a lot of people, if they know this, they will understand. Most of the Geminis, they have a tough relationship with their in-laws. It always almost always starts off, you know, at a certain point, but as the time goes, things get better. Why? It is because of that Capricorn in the 8th house. Capricorn, it takes time. Things build over time. So if you expect like quick relationships that happen over time, you know, it won't really gel well. And you might think that, oh my god, my in-laws, they don't like me, you know, and sometimes it's just that you need to give time. But this time around, with this period, that could come up as a scuffle, a real scuffle, because of that moon meeting with Pluto there in the 8th house. So this is this needs to be taken care of now, because you know, when it comes to the Aries, for example, there was a similar thing of the in-laws because of the Lilith that is in the 8th house. But for you, it is a Pluto, you know, and meeting with the moon, this is when things, you know, get to be transformational. So do mind, you know, your relationships at this time with the in-laws. Gemini and Gemini and Gemini and Gemini. Now moving on to, sorry, I'm still a bit under the weather. Okay, so moving on to the 24th until the 25th here. Okay, so 24th until the 25th, the moon would have moved at this time to be in your 9th house. So the moon moves to be in your 9th house, and right now I do see things kind of like hitting up for the Geminis, because at this time when the moon moves to be in that Aquarius sign, it's going to be attached to Rahu, and moon with Rahu, things go haywire, okay, because also it's an Aries sign. Rahu in an Aries sign is uncontrollable. It also be mindful of, harmful words, things that are spoken, or even harmful objects or transportation, because of that 9th house and 3rd house axis. So we are just be mindful of those things, like accidents, whatever. And what I also see here for the same period is, there's a need to be extremely calculative right now. It's either reasoning or calculative, particularly those who are dealing with foreigners, you're traveling, or you are dealing with a legal system. High calculation is done, but there could be some manipulation as well. So be mindful of treachery, whether it is against you or you doing it against other people, because of the moon and the Rahu. Together they become highly manipulative, and particularly towards group settings, because of the Aquarius sign. So the group setting becomes highly active here, and it is not surprising if you could want to join. Let's say maybe there's a strike, or maybe there's a viewing, like an outdoor viewing. I do see some Geminis joining those things, going to the museums, because you have a sensation of seeing things that are foreign from you, things that are different from you. But having the moon and the Rahu in your 9th house with that Jupiter, I must tell you, Geminis, that again, most of you are going to be literally swallowed into a world of knowledge that is beyond your imagination, a knowledge that some people will never ever in this whole world know about. And this information could be high on secrecy, whereby it requires your utmost like a bond, towards secrecy, whereby you have to commit yourself to never divulging this information. So this information could be also from higher authorities. It could be from an authoritative figure in your own life, whereby they tell you something and now you are bound to keep this secret. So I do see something like that. Now, when it comes to the 25th, I know there's a bit of betrayal now that I see here. So there's a bit of betrayal that comes, which could also be like surrounded by a bit of danger, right? So yeah, I do see that, like, it's gonna be subtle. It's not gonna be in your face like danger. It's gonna be something so subtle. And so just be mindful of what you eat. of whatever you eat, of whatever you're being given, and even the information you receive today on the 25th. Do like look at it, like sift through it, because it could be manipulative, it could be a threatening information, or information that is meant to poison your mind, right? So yeah, those are just the type of things. However, in terms of your positive life, you become extremely talented and skilled, or showing those skills towards dealing with other people and in relationships altogether. So this becomes absolutely also wonderful for the physicians and the nurses and the doctors and the healers of this world, right? Very, very, very powerful. Now I'm re-recording because I didn't notice that it had switched off. I was just yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping, only to realize it had switched off. But I enjoy these things, so let's go on again. Now, moving on to the 25th and the 26th. I hope I won't be repeating myself, because you are of the information that I said. I could be repeating myself possibly. But in any case, what I do see is that you need to place some balance, okay? You're going to be strong in your world. You're healing other people, taking care of other people. But at the same time, do, be mindful of your own body. Make sure when you go home, somebody is there for you. And at the same time, when it comes to the 26th and the 27th, I do see some physical strain, hence I am emphasizing on having somebody take care of you too, massage, something like that, right? And there could be some burden for those who are not physically like at work, but I do see some sort of maybe mental burden that you have to deal with at this time, okay? But the positive part is that you are very strong, you're tough, you're very tough, you're able to persist and to just go on and push through the wall. Now when it comes to the 26th and the 27th, just be mindful of when you drive, for those who drive, and all of these things. When it comes to the 27th, this is the day that I just want everybody to know that it's a beautiful day for making children. If you've been wanting to make babies and your body is allowing at this time, maybe your ovulation is happening, do take advantage, do lie down with your spouse and try, because I do see a lot of blessings today for many people who are trying to have those boobies being done today. But at the same time, as much as it is a beautiful day for creation, it is also true for its opposite. It is a day that those who are empowered with their mass in their hands, they are able to be ruthless today and very merciless. So do make sure you're not insecure, like in places whereby there's a lot of possibilities for such things to happen, because it's like a yin yang, you're given the good and you're given the bad, and the 27th becomes that day whereby there is the absolute good for creation of life, and there's absolute karma for taking the same life, or for creating hostile environments for other people, danger and all of those things, right? So there's also a lack of clarity, so it's not some people could be causing these gruesome things because of lacking judgment, because of being confused, because of being misled as well. thinking that maybe they know best, whereas they don't have all the information. I do see that on the 28th now, which could also start the 27th. There is some hidden knowledge that continues to be given to a lot of Geminis, because remember, you have the Jupiter directly on your ascendant. You have the axis of Rahu in the 9th house. Now literally Geminis are welcomed to know every dark detail and every best detail of whatever subject you are interested in. If you are into history, you will be able to know all the things that you've always wondered about. If you are into occults, you are literally they open all the doors for you to know everything that is for your occult practice. If you are into spirituality, your chakras are easily opened now, can be easily opened now, because you will have the knowledge and the guidance of how to do all of these things. Just be careful again, because of the Jupiter that is being retrograde. You know, some people who are teaching you could also be not straightforward, you know, with their information, or maybe they give you erroneous information. So just cipher through the information that you get now before you totally believe in it, right? So there's that. But I do see that on the 27th and the 28th, that information you would have been gathering can also now be shown, you know, to your boss, or, you know, they say something about it, or maybe you post it online, or whereby the world can see it, you know. I do see that. And obviously there would be some rejections from other people, because Moon and Saturn together, they do cause some rejection and also some resentment from other people. So Moon and Saturn does create a lot of resentment. It's not from you, it's from other people. It's about what you do, and that causes other people to have resentment towards you, to want to reject what you say. It's naturally like that. Anyone who's got Moon and Saturn, they will attest to this. I do have that combination. It's always like that. You don't have to do much. You just do what you do. You will still get, you know, that resentment or whatever, right? It's just how it is. So it means that you keep on working, because the thing is, Saturn in your 10th house is all about work. And then when it moves to your 11th house, this is where you will gain all the profits and the revenues and the results of your hard work in the 10th house, right? Remember, it's a slow build up, so you just focus on your goal. Don't mind the chatter and the clutter and whatever, right? So I do see that when it comes to the 29th, from the 28th until the 29th and 30th, until the 30th at this time, there could be some activity or some challenge that wants you to use your intellectual capacity to come up with a solution. The solution is either maybe to defend your stance, your work, your communication, and also even when even when you are, let's say, starting a project. I do see some sort of a need for collaboration for some Geminis, whereby maybe somebody within a group, they want you to join them, or they want some sort of collaboration. I do see that, because they see the skill that you have. But just be mindful that particularly on the 30th, you don't misuse the information that you know, because I do see that for those who have a high energy of Mars in their chart, they could use their hidden knowledge that they've learned to cause chaos, or or misuse it. So just do take care. Now the last point that I see for that period of the 27th and the 30th, your spouse could give you some information now that would be very helpful towards your profession. So do you know, look at that information, even if you don't accept it, but you know, just look at it. Thank you, Geminis.